Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're popping the hood on what is absolutely one of the most successful businesses on the planet. I mean, it's a brand we all instantly recognize, right? A total billion-dollar juggernaut that has literally shaped global culture and commerce. But the story of how they actually built this massive empire? Well, it's probably way different from the one you've got in your head.
Over 100. That number right there represents their truly massive global scale. We are talking about a single business that serves millions upon millions of people every single day. They operate in more than 100 countries, pulling in billions in revenue. It's a global footprint that most modern corporations can honestly only dream of.
Section 1. The Hidden Empire and a Delicious Misconception.
So when we look at that massive global scale, most of us naturally make a pretty big assumption. We mistakenly attribute all of this wild financial success entirely to the menu. You know, the burgers, those hot, salty fries, the ice-cold drinks. We figure they won simply by selling the most food. But what if McDonald's isn't actually a burger company at all? Crazy, right? But it's a question that completely challenges our baseline assumptions. It forces us to look right past that brightly lit menu board and dig into the actual foundational mechanics of the business itself.
Well, here's the big reveal. In reality, financial experts consider McDonald's to be one of the largest real estate companies in the world. Yeah, real estate. This is the hidden engine that explains exactly how the company got so incredibly powerful and how they've maintained that sheer dominance for decades. But to understand how they built this engine, we've got to hit rewind.
Section 2. Ray Kroc's Big Problem and the Growing Pains in the 1950s.
Let's go back to the 1950s. A guy named Ray Kroc stumbles upon this highly efficient, insanely popular little burger joint run by Richard and Maurice McDonald. Kroc was totally convinced he could scale this thing across America. And his first strategy? It was super straightforward. Step 1, find franchise owners who want to run their own business. Step 2, open more restaurants with those folks. And Step 3, sell way more burgers and collect a franchise fee.
But as you can probably guess, rapid expansion quickly bred total chaos. Kroc realized there was a fatal flaw as they rolled out the system. A lot of these new franchise owners were just going completely rogue. They were totally ignoring those strict company guidelines, letting their restaurant quality slip, and to make matters worse, some of them were really struggling financially. And for a growing brand that was built almost entirely on reliability and consistency, dropping the ball on quality across locations was literally a death sentence.
So, this created a massive, critical crisis for Kroc. How in the world could McDonald's maintain strict corporate control while continuing to grow at breakneck speed? It was an urgent challenge. They absolutely needed a way to force these franchise owners to stick to the rulebook. But obviously, corporate couldn't physically stand in every single kitchen across America to watch over them.
Section 3. The Real Estate Pivot. The answer that changed everything.
The solution they eventually landed on didn't just fix that immediate expansion problem, it permanently, fundamentally altered the DNA of the entire company. Under the old model, McDonald's was basically just collecting franchise fees based on food sales. But under the new model, McDonald's started stepping in to purchase the actual land where these new restaurants were going to be built. Then they'd turn right around and lease that exact same land back to the franchise owners. So almost overnight, they weren't just a corporate partner anymore. They were the landlord.
Now, think about what this means. Franchise owners were now paying rent to McDonald's every single month. Suddenly, McDonald's wasn't just crossing their fingers and relying on earning money from burger sales. They were earning money directly from real estate. This fundamentally shifted the company's entire primary revenue stream, and really, it laid the very groundwork for an absolute empire.
Section 4. Rent, Rules, and Revenue. The genius of the modern model.
By stepping into this new role of property owner, McDonald's basically built an untouchable strategic moat right around their business. This was so much more than just collecting a rent check, you know? It was about locking down a system that protected the brand from pretty much any threat out there. This genius new system provided 3 massive advantages: total control, stable income, and rising property values. Let's take a closer look at exactly why each of these 3 pillars transformed the company so radically.
Okay, first up, let's talk about control. If a franchise owner failed to follow company standards now, like say they serve bad food or they let the restaurant get dirty, McDonald's had absolute unmatched leverage. And why is that? Because McDonald's literally owned the property they were standing on. They could simply evict the bad operator and just plug in someone new who would actually follow the rules. This structure guaranteed the pristine quality standards that Kroc was so desperately looking for.
Second, we've got to look at the income stability.
Food sales are just inherently unpredictable. They constantly rise and fall. The economy changes, consumer tastes shift, recessions come out of nowhere. But rent payments? Those provide incredibly predictable, guaranteed cash flow. The franchise owner owes that rent check on the first of every month, completely regardless of whether burger sales happen to be up or down that week.
And third, we have the immense long-term benefit of rising property values. Over time, as cities naturally grew and neighborhoods developed, that land McDonald's had purchased became exponentially more valuable. They slowly accumulated a truly massive portfolio of prime real estate. We're talking about the best busy intersections, thriving commercial districts, high-traffic roads. Just the dirt under the restaurant alone is often worth millions and millions of dollars.
Section 5. More than just burgers and the investor's perspective.
This exact strategy is the reason why, today, thousands of McDonald's restaurants operate on land directly owned or controlled by the corporation. It completely secured their long-term dominance, and honestly, it should completely change how you view the whole business. Because what does the everyday customer see? Well, they just see a fast, convenient meal of burgers and fries. But investors, they look far, far deeper. They see highly valuable land, guaranteed rental income, and a business model that is meticulously designed for deep, long-term economic stability.
Because of this absolutely brilliant pivot, a lot of financial experts actually describe McDonald's not as a fast food company, but rather as a real estate empire that just happens to sell burgers. And honestly, it perfectly summarizes the reality of their business. Ultimately, the restaurant itself is basically just the tenant funding this massive, unstoppable real estate machine. The physical building generates value far, far beyond the actual food being served inside of it. It's widely considered to be one of the absolute greatest corporate strategies ever devised. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. The very next time you drive past those iconic golden arches, I want you to ask yourself, are you looking at a simple fast food joint, or are you staring at a brilliant masterclass in global real estate?